Welcome back, everybody. So today I am going to do an experiment between the Easy Press and my iron to see which one works the best for a t-shirt iron-on. Now, the Easy Press, of course, is made for the infusible ink, but I am all about experimenting and finding out if what I already had, which was an iron before I actually got my Easy Press, would actually work. Some of you have watched my other video of can I use an iron with the Easy Press? If not, I'll link it below. But definitely check that one out and you'll see how that one went with the coasters. This one I'm going to do the t-shirts. So these are the t-shirts that are sold by Cricut. So these are their t-shirt blanks for the infusible ink. I have one for myself, one for my husband. So I'm doing camping themed t-shirts. So mine's going to say this is my camping shirt and his is going to say happy camper. So we're going to start with mine, and I'm using the pad that that you can buy from Cricut. All right, so let me grab that. Let's get this. Okay, so I have a piece of cardboard. It's just a piece from our recycling that I grabbed to put in between so it doesn't bleed to the back. And then I have my cutout already. These were cutouts. I didn't create these. These are from Cricut. You can find them in Design Space. So then their instructions are, oops, hang on, skipping a step. To take a lint roller and make sure to get everything off your shirt. If you don't have a lint roller, use a piece of masking tape or painter's tape on your fingers or packing tape and just try to get the area so you don't have anything on there. And then they say to use butcher paper. I don't have butcher paper, so I'm using parchment paper, which goes in the oven, so should be fine there. So then you want to prep your fabric when using the Easy Press first for 15 seconds. So I'm just going to set this on here and then count. Okay. So I already have my Easy Press to 385 set for 40 seconds, which is what they recommend. I'm going to take my design, put it back under here in this exact spot I want it to go. I actually can tell, yep, okay. Wanted to make sure that my cardboard has it all, okay. So got that. We're going to put this back down. We will set this here and start it for 40 seconds. So then with the other one, I'm going to do the iron, but I'm going to do the same steps that they recommend where we use the lint roller. I will use the parchment paper. I'm going to prep it a little bit first and then do the iron. The only problem with the iron is that this surface, whoop, that's hot. This surface is just not as big as my pattern, so I'm going to have to hold it in different spots. So that's why the Easy Press is a little bit nicer in that regard, is that when you have bigger designs, you can do the entire design at once. This is about to end. Okay, I'm going to lift that up and put it back on their surface here. Lift this up. It's going to be a little hot, I'm sure. I'll let it cool for a little bit. So I'm going to start lifting this off. Oh, looks pretty good. Got a little light on one spot, and I think that's because my design sat in the sun one day, not realizing because I cut it one day. So let me show you. Take this out. Should have used a darker infusible ink, but I was just using what I had on hand and trying to use a camping theme. So it says this is my camping shirt. Is that it's a little light. That's okay. I could definitely redo it and just use a different color there too, which I might end up doing. Okay. So we got that shirt. Now let's try this one with the iron. Okay, so take his and set it down here. As you can tell, I don't measure very well as to where exactly my design goes. I'm more about just eyeballing. So if you are not one that likes to eyeball where a design goes, definitely measure. Okay, so let's put this back in here. As you can see, I'm using a cereal box. Okay. Alright. So we've got that one here. Again, his says Happy Camper. His is in a darker. So we'll see. I want it down here just a tiny bit. Oh. Forgot a step, guys. Like I said I was going to. Lint roller. Put that down. Let's prep my surface. Well, since I'm using the iron, we'll use the iron here. So I'm just going to rub this. Since I can't really hold it in one spot for 15 seconds. I mean, I could, but then that spot's going to cool as you move it to the next spot. So I'm just going to kind of rub over the entire surface here. Alright, now you feel the heat from that. We're going to put this down. Now we'll put this back over top. And now I'm going to press the lower half for 40 seconds, and then we'll press the upper half. Okay, now we're going to do the upper half as best as I can. Probably going to have to do it in 3 different spots. So again, a little bit of a downside with the iron is that you have to move it around on a larger design. All right, and then one more. And the other problem with using an iron, I'll just mention, again, for larger designs like this, is that when you lift up and move, you have the possibility of moving your design unless you've taped it on. So then your design may not be even. So just something to keep in mind if you're not wanting to buy or can't afford an easy press, totally fine. But just something to keep in mind if you're doing larger designs to tape down your piece if you're going to try and use an iron. All right. See what we got here. The iron, I'm always hesitant to lift it up right away just because I want to see. I might want to get that corner. I want to see what I may have missed. Oh, like that whole corner. Okay. So we're going to do this spot again. And then the other corner. I noticed none of it has gone through, so I obviously missed this little corner. But if you're doing tea towels or like the coasters I did, your iron could definitely cover up a smaller design. All right, so now let me go over to this corner. Oh, definitely looks good. Okay, so now again, I'm going to lift slowly before taking it all the way off to see if it looks like it transferred almost everywhere. This corner is still just a tiny bit, so we're going to sit here for another 40 seconds. Okay. Yep, definitely worked now. Okay, so all right, so see, tiny bit, I'm gonna go, notice this top corner is not fully covered. It's just a little bit faded. Not that it's not there at all, it's just a tiny bit faded, and I want it in a little darker. Okay. Now let's see. There we go. All right, so you can definitely, in my opinion, use a iron to do infusible ink. Like I said, it's just gonna be a little bit harder with a bigger area that you're gonna have to move your iron about. But as you can see, it definitely all transferred on there. Okay, so I'm back because I'd like to redo my shirt. As you remember, I did mine with the Easy Press, and let me show it up here. The the infusible ink I chose was just a little too light. If the shirt was white, it would have looked a lot better, but because it's gray, it kind of washed out that light green background. So I recut the same design at the same size and used a darker infusible ink. I'm just gonna lay it right over top. I know it might not cover everything and you might see it through, but that's okay. This is an experiment, it's my shirt. So I'm gonna lay it. Let's do this first. Let's go through the whole steps again. So I'm gonna lint roll it really quick. Make sure it's flat. Let's put this on top. Let's set this there. They said about 15 seconds. Get it warm. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to lift this up. I'm going to try and place this as best as I can. I could tape this. I'm not too concerned about it. It looks like I did have some shifting anyway because it's not exactly lined up. My moon is a little off. That's okay. I'm all about experimenting, guys. Okay, so now let's put this back. Oh, this, start, and let this. I like to put a little bit of pressure on this myself, just making sure everything is covered as this counts down. Trying not to move it so that it doesn't shift, because again, I didn't tape it down. Again, probably would have been a better idea to tape it down. On the coasters, it's probably a good idea to definitely tape it down. Okay, so we're going to set this back. There, we're going to take this off. And I'm just going to lift a corner just to see. Definitely looks like it went. Yep. That definitely looks better. Alright, let's peel it off. Go here, let me take this out. That off. Alright, so as you can see, that definitely looks better than it did with the other infusible inks. So make sure, don't do like I did, or unless you're using a white, make sure your infusible ink pattern that you choose is going to show up well on the surface that you're applying it to. If I look closely, I can see where some of my stars, I'll show you guys, some of my stars did overlap. You can see a little bit of the moon, but other than that, the majority of it was covered up. I do see a little bit of a tree here. Other than that, it looks like the campers are on there and everything, so I think it looks great. Make sure to hit subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions below. I'm happy to answer them all.